the Sunday discourse on why should we meditate, and now we are studying the second chapter of the Patanjali Yoga Darshan. Mano Buddha Hamkara Chittani Naham Nacha Shotra Juve Nacha Grana Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhumi Na Tejo Na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham. We have already studied the almost in 20 slokas in the second chapter. Now there we were studying how this drashti drishyo samyoga hiya hetu. The problem comes when the seer sees an object and become attached to that. The whole mental agony and all that is beginning with the connection, samyoga. What is that connection? The one, the seer, he is not supposed to be attached with that, but somehow he is getting attached to that. And the moment he is attaching to that, is all trouble is coming. Now this is that you studied up to that 18, 17, 18. Now in 19 we find Vishesha, Abhishesha, Lingamatra, Alingani, Guna Parvani. Here it says that the states of the qualities are the defined, undefined, indicated and singleness. These are all the terminologies of the yoga terminologies. Vishesha means defined. Swami Vivekananda is giving the meaning of the Vishesha, defined. What is the defined? That means we know about the indriyas, pancha bhuta, pancha indriya. About this we are aware, so it is defined. Abhishesha, there are some qualities that is not defined, but we know that is tanmatra. We cannot understand so much of this tanmatra. We cannot touch it, we cannot see it. All these bhutas we can see, the earth, the water, all that we can understand, we can see. Indriyas, dasa indriya, 10 indriyas, we can understand. But the subtle influence, that is called tanmatra. This subtle influence is very difficult to understand, but it is very much there. And that's why the yogi, they say, abhishesha. And then which is our personality, individual personality, what? Asmita. And what is the asmita? If you ask someone to explain, I, he is constantly beating his chest, and if you ask him, can you please explain what is your ahamkara, what is your asmita? He cannot. Because it is subtle, it is very much there, but at the same time, we cannot explain it. We can understand it, we can feel it, we can realize it. It is subtle, it is there, but we cannot explain. What is asmita? So that tanmatras, when we come to this temple, we always feel like the peace, happiness, and that is the temple for. The one gentleman was telling, you don't allow children to play within your temple, so why they should come? I told, all over the America, so many playgrounds, everywhere grounds only. And then, if the temple also become a playground, then what the temple for? In the hospital, if you are going and dancing, then what will that be an hospital? And that way, tanmatra is there. The moment you entered into a hospital, you know that you are going to meet a doctor, this, that your mind set automatically. And nobody is going to discuss anything over there except the medicine, the doctor, and all this, because tanmatra, you are influenced. But we cannot see the tanmatra. We cannot see the influence. That is the speciality. And mohat tattva linga matra, that is there. That mohat tattva is the cosmic I consciousness, cosmic ego, we can say. That is called mohat tattva. From there only, all this thing has come. Anything that we do, the first thing is necessary, I should do. That I is there. But in the God, it cannot be. In the Ishvara or in the Atman, that is not. So he has separated that ego sense in a different way, and that is the in some total ego. That's called, and alingani, that is prakriti. That's the nature. All power is within that. This guna parvani, and what are the gunas? Only three types: sattva, raja, and tama. So this has been there. Now what we have to do? Drashta drishtimatra shuddhopi pratyayanu Drashta means seer. Any Indian language, a little bit of Sanskrit idea, you can understand. Drashta means the seer, who sees. Who sees? I see. How I see? Through eyes. But suppose I am having the eyes, but I am not having the mind activated. Can I see? I cannot. The picture of that object will reach my brain, but brain will not function because it is not attached with the consciousness, the mind. So obviously, even when we are having the eyes, we are having the object, we are having the contact, even then, we cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot taste. Why? Because that Atman, the mind, the consciousness, that is absent. So who is then drashta, that consciousness? Whom I say I, that is actually my consciousness. And what is that consciousness? That again we cannot understand. So that is the very subtle way, slowly they are taking us to an ultimate that we will reach. What is that ultimate? That I am a man, I am a woman, I am educated, I am uneducated, I am poor, I am rich, I am this, I am that. So many are there. So all that has been imposed on something. What is that? Atman, about which we are not very much aware. The moment you will be aware about that Atman, spiritual life ends over there. I mean, the pursuit for that spiritual life, and spiritual life, you can say, begin from that, real spiritual life. That's why Swami Vivekananda is giving, religion is realization. What is that realization? That I am Atman. What is that Atman? I am all pervading, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipotent. I have everything within me. But even then, shuddhopi, shuddha means there is no attachment. The moment we use the word shuddha, we think that the bathing and then the eating the good food and these and that is not the shuddha. That's only trying to be shuddha. Shuddha means unattached. That is the reason the children are always Shuddha, Pavitra. Why? Unattached. The unattachment, they are there in that, everything, but totally unattached. This moment they are so much interested in the game. Next moment they are somewhere. All the toys are lying on the floor. So that is why the unattachment to anything, name, fame, prosperity, I am there, but I am not attached, Suddha. And who is that? Atman. Because Atman is not attached to anything. So my Atman, whom I say my, I, it is totally unattached, Suddha. Api, again, even then, because of that I sense, it is as if attached. The drashta means the soul, and the seer is separate from the nature. Now the drishi matra means pure consciousness. Shuddhopi, though very pure. Pratyaya, pratyaya means the mind. This is the terminologies. Pratyaya, pratyayat anupashya. Pratyayat anupashya. Pratyaya means the mind. Because the mind is attached to that, I am getting attached to that. So this is the problem. What is the mind actually? Mind is also unconsciousness. Mind is also not conscious. Reflection of the consciousness. The great leaders, they are blamed because of their chelas, the followers. These followers, they go a little beyond and they will be doing this and that, little extra, all blame will come to the leader. The leader is not that. Similarly, our mind, we are not attached to the mind, but because we give importance to the mind, because the reflection is there, now it takes its freedom. And when we are not very much alert, it takes us to problem. And what is that problem? Attachment. So that is says, drashta, the seer, the Atman, shuddhopi, though pure, totally free from any attachment, drishi matra, though it is pure consciousness, pratyaya anupashyaha. Pratyaya, because of the mind, as if it is connected with the object. As if. If we are really connected with the object, we can never become free from it. We are already disconnected. But the reflection it makes that we are attached to this. So what is that samadhi? Understanding only this thing, that I am totally free. Shivoham, Shivoham, every time we repeat it. I am completely free. And where is the problem? With my mind only. Because mind is getting attached with something. And then afterwards, this is the all problem comes. Long back, I was a brahmachari. The ashrama that I used to be in Calcutta, that is Advaita ashram. From there I was going to visit another ashrama, that's called Gadadhara ashrama, where Ma Sharadamani Devi used to go to attend a Kali temple, Kali Puja. So that there I was going, and suddenly I found one young girl is coming. And a group of boys, they wanted to, they were commenting something to that girl or trying to draw her attention, something like that. Another group of boys were also following the same girl. And the girl is not connected with those second group that was following, and not also the first group that they were approaching. She was just only walking. The first group which they were following, they saw the another group, they are commenting or teasing. They came and started fighting, street fight. But I saw from distance, the girl never turned back to see that. She went out. For whom we are fighting, they were not knowing. but they were fighting. We also do the same thing. For whom actually we are attached, we do not know. But we are attached. And because of that we suffer. And when we suffer, we make also the society suffer. Sometimes some people are frustrated, they will go and spray the bullets and kill innocent children in the school. Why? I am frustrated. Who asked you to become frustrated? So that is the reason we should meditate. Why should we meditate? Not only to control myself, but also to help the society. Unless and until we understand this. And what is meditation? Understanding this knowledge only. That much and nothing else. So, when you speak about it, people are not very much interested. When you perform some miraculous thing, people are interested. Why? Again, attachment to the Prakriti. When you tell the good thing, nobody is interested. When you say the bad things, there will be crowd, you have to call police to maintain the law and order. Why? Prakriti. This is very, very special. So that is why some only very few good people are there who can understand, try to understand, and strive to control their mind by understanding that I am already free. Kim rodasi sakhe toi sarva shakti. The Dattatreya, yesterday I went to Hindu temple, a group of people, they were observing the Dattatreya, the great saint. And he said, Kim rodasi, why you are crying? You are already free. There is no one, nobody is binding me, but I thought that I am bound and I am crying. Now the people, they will be so much afraid of the ghost and they will be shouting, crying. When you have the ghost appear to you? No. Have you seen the ghost? No. Then why you are crying? Apprehending, thinking the ghost will come, so I am crying. And let the ghost come and see whether it is helping you or making problem for you, then only. No, we don't have. So because we apprehend and we create problem. So this is, they say, drashta drishtimatra shuddhopi. Because of the mind we are attached. Then it says, tadartha eva drishyasya atma. The object of experience exists only to serve the purpose of the Atman. Now these eyes, the nose, these ears, the hands, all limbs are there. But if there is no Atman, and you bring all the pizza and all this, whether that dead body can eat? No. Because it has nothing, no attraction, no attachment, no aversion. That is the thing. See, the only, if we can understand, something is there within this body, that is called Atman, that is called consciousness, that is called prana, that is called mana, in different names and that is very subtle, and because of that only everything. Now, if there is no king and there is no spectators, great performers they came, and there is no spectator, nobody is there to observe, nobody there to listen, what will happen? Similarly, if the king, the Atman is absent, all these things in the world is nothing. Now suppose after the death, then someone is carried to a place which is full of gold and other costly things, and then the dead body is laid over there. Will the dead body be happy? It has nothing to do with that. Why? Atman is absent. One of our Swamiji used to say, when we were young, nobody gave us food. Now that we have developed diabetes, people are bringing food. What is it? all type of different sweets. Swamiji, you need not to eat, only see. And why to see? He used to tell like that. So, when I could eat, you people didn't bring. When the Atman was already there in the body, there was nothing. Nobody could give all that. When the Atman has already left, in the dead body, they will all pouring all those things. So why? Therefore it says, tad artha eva drishyasya atma. See how tad means the Purusha, that Atman. Tad means is indicating that Purusha. Why all these things? Because of my Atman. So, if I am not having my Atman, all these things are for no use. And suppose beauty queens and all that, suppose nobody looks at them, then what will happen to them? For the whole year they have practiced so many things, rubbed so many things, and now the particular day there is no one to look at them because there is something else is going on, so their all attention is there. What will happen to them? So similarly, let the Prakriti be there, all the nature be there, which is all multifarious things. Name, fame, beauty, money, let it be there. I don't look at them. That is called Vairagya. That is called Vairagya. That moment that Vairagya comes, Vairagi, then from Sannyasi. So because of that Vairagya only. What is that Vairagya? Not that I have to destroy everything. Some of the monks, they will be telling, no, anything that creates problem for my mind, remove it from. How can you live in the society? Rather, if you think that I am not attracted to those things, let it be there. So this is the mistake they do. Some of the monks, the male sannyasis, they don't allow the ladies to go over the. For the beginners, it is all right. For the brahmacharis, it is all right. Even at that time, 90 years also, he is closing his eyes. No, I won't see. And what is it? That means he has no control of the mind. That is the thing. Because they are not studying this type of things. The whole purpose of these things to allure, attraction. I am not attached, I am not attracted. So that they say, tadartha eva drishyasya atma. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in his very simple way, he said that the potato, brinjal, there is someone who was boiling and they were jumping in that boiling water and was completely, see, I am jumping so much and you cannot. They have forgotten the fire is there below. Because of the fire below that container, that the water is boiling, and because of that they are jumping. Then what for all those things? Because of the fire. What for all these things? Because of my Atman. The Prakriti cannot do anything if my Atman, about my Atman, I am conscious. So whether you live with the kings or with the beggars, it is all equal to you. To whom? Samadarshi. Who is Samadarshi? This only. This is the Samadarshitva. So that way they say, and then kitartham pratinashtam vapi anashtam tadanya sadharanatvat. Now, one argument comes. Suppose someone has achieved that control, and for him the Prakriti cannot attract or do anything. Does it mean the whole Prakriti, the whole nature lose its attraction power, alluring power? No. For others it is there. It is already there. So, if you don't mind, the one big officer, he came to meet me in Andaman and he told, Swamiji, Andaman is a beautiful place. Why should we talk inside the room? Let us go to the sea beach. Okay, I went over there. Then he was asking me So how do you think that one should do this? And I am serious, because whole day I am studying for what? If anybody is in front, and immediately to fire. So I was always ready to give him the advices. I was going on giving the advices because such a big officer, and if he is attached to this ideology, it will be good. So I was telling this. But he was looking over my shoulder and seeing something. Afterwards, when we were coming back, he said, Swamiji, you didn't see? I said, what? Oh, now beautiful ladies, they were bathing in the ocean and that sea beach. So naturally, you have not turned and see. I came here only to talk to you. So why should I have to look at it? I never noticed it. Then he said, that is the reason I should offer my pranam to you. See, I am old. I am going to retire. And now still, these things I cannot control. And now these things you were telling. And only 10% of my mind was listening to you, 90% over there. He disclosed this. Now, those things were there for me too, but it didn't touch my mind. For him, it was so much attracted. Why? Only mind. I told her, I have come for a different purpose, so this is my purpose, to tell these things to this man. So I came, and I am giving. Why should I have to look to those things? So that is the only thing that if we can understand the folly of this, even living as a king, it cannot attract us. But if we cannot, even as a beggar, we are so much attracted to it. Even the beggars, they cannot give away even a very small thing, maybe an earthen pot that he is having. No, this earthen pot is for me, and they will be fighting for that earthen pot. They cannot give it away. And go to some very holy person, even if whatever he is having, he will give it. Like Swami Vivekananda. He was ready to sell out the property of Belur Math to serve the people. Somehow the mother told, if you sell the property of Belur Math, the organization will break. That is not the purpose of Sri Ramakrishna. So do that. Of course, you go and serve those people with some other sources, other means, but don't sell. So somehow Belur Math was there, and now the Ramakrishna mission, otherwise where I was, where you were. So that whole thing comes because why? Vivekananda, he was not attached to all these things. He was having some good wristwatch someone gave, and here someone was appreciating, oh, sir, your wristwatch is so nice. You liked it? Immediately opened and gave it to you. Now the problem is the person who gave that, he was jumping. Why you are giving to this? I gave to you. Swamiji was not attached. Why? Without the watch, things are moving. Why should I have to keep that? Even if I have, some not so costly will be sufficient for me. So one gentleman, he gave me a pen, 8,000 rupees. In India, 8,000 rupees pen. I told 8,000 rupees? We can purchase in 2 rupees and 3 rupees, and that is very nice. Why you have to spend so much of money? No, that you will remember. And remember means I will never use it. Because I will of course remember it. Why? It's still there in my room. Because the moment I open it, oh, this is so costly. If I lose it, it will be a problem. So I always keep that as a memento. No use. But the rich people, they always use that, and sometimes they will be throwing all these things, but that a lot of others are there. So attachment and aversion should not be there. The aversion means I don't want, and attachment means I want. If any of this is there, we are bound. Anything you like to give, okay. If you don't like to give, it's also okay. So that is called understanding. Kitartham prati. For him, one who has been successful, the world loses its attraction, but not for others. Sa sami shaktya sarupa upulabdhi hetu samyogaha. Again it says, samyoga means union, junction is the cause of the realization of the nature of both power, Atman and the Prakriti. Then on the 24th sloka it says, Tasya hetu avidya. Again it comes to that som. In the music they always say, in Indian music, soma. Soma means the bass. They will sa, re, gama, pada, all these seven, the music they will do. Then ultimate they will come and they will say soma, means the bass. And here also in the Yoga Sutra, you go so many things, then ultimately they come to avidya. And what is that avidya? We studied that avidya in the first chapter. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. And this is called avidya. This avidya, again it was explained, but anyway it is difficult to remember. Avidya means anitya, ashuchi, dukkha, anatmasu. But we consider exactly opposite. Nitya, shuchi, sukha, atmokhyati. That is called avidya. Which is full of misery, we think that is full of joy. That is called avidya. The anitya, this is temporary, but we think no, this is permanent. One person in Calcutta, he is having almost in every city in India, he is having a flat or a house. Then I told, it's very good that you are having, but how do you maintain it? No, I keep some people, they will be cleaning it. Anywhere you go, you can stay. Forget about me, but because our ashramas are there. But let me know, do you really visit all those houses? No, Swamiji, kahan, time kahan hai? The time nahi hai, to why you have kept all this buildings? Just he is having money, he is purchasing, and he will say, I am having something in every city. Wherever you go, even including Shantiniketan also he is having one. Of course, in Shantiniketan I stayed 2 days there. So this way, they are just going on purchasing, not knowing how they are going to utilize, what they are going to do. I told, why you are doing? He is having only 1 or 2 children, I don't know. They won't be there. Then what for? He also doesn't know. Let me see what will happen. So like this it goes, because the anitya, very temporary, we think is as permanent, and because of this problem. Ashuchi, very impure, we think that is very shuchi. What is ashuchi? This body. This is very impure. The doctors, they know. But we think is as a suchi. Hey, don't touch me, because I am very holy, I am pure. You should not enter into my kitchen, enter into my this and that. I am holy, I am holy. What holiness you are having? So you are the body only, you are moving around, and the moment you are thinking that others are unholy, that means you are also not holy. The moment I understand that I am holy, I can feel others are also the same. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, each soul is potentially divine. But of course, we have to behave according to the situation. Dukkha, that we think sukha. Anatmasu, and that we think atmakyati. All this is called avidya. And this avidya, this ignorance, this thinking process, in Hindi they say, ulta samajh li Ram. I was telling very good thing, but he was understanding the whole meaning in a different way. There was a story in the children's book in our country that the birds were having the nest. And when it was raining, they were all inside the nest and they were enjoying. Then they saw the monkeys, they are all in the rain, they are sitting over there in a very bad shape. Then one of the birds thought that we should also tell, hey, we are not having the hands. Even then we can make our rooms, houses. We can be in that nest. We are very free from the water and rain. You are having the hands. You are bigger than us. You are intelligent than us. Why don't you make your own house? He heard it, oh, is it? You are giving me advice. Let me see. When the rain was over, all the monkeys went and broke all the nest of the birds. So ulta samajh li Ram. I gave you some good advice, and now you reacted in a different way. And who are these people? They always understand things in a different way. Why? Ego. They will never listen even the good things. So that is the problem. Tasya hetu avidya. Why we suffer? Because of the avidya. Tad abhavat. Suppose the avidya is not there. Samyoga abhavo hetu hanam tadrishe kaivallam. In 25th sloka of the second chapter, it says you can reach over there only if you don't have that avidya. Because the moment the avidya, the wrong conception is absent, you understand the reality of the things, so obviously you are not attached, and when you are not attached, what you are free. You are completely free. That is called freedom. That is called kaivalyam. Now again it says in the 26th sloka, Viveko khatir abhiplava hanupaya. Viveko khati means, viveka means discrimination. Again and again in the Hindu scripture you will find viveka, vairagya, viveka, vairagya. These are two words again and again there. What is that viveka? That is the capacity to understand real and the unreal. That's called viveka. What is education? To develop this capacity, even in the worldly sense, to understand what is good and what is bad. Understand which is going to help me and which is not. To understand which is going to ruin me and which is not. And that is why guru is necessary, even in the worldly life also. Because the first parents, they will be guiding, you should not do this, you should not do this, because they understand that will bring bad thing in his life. And then the teacher, they will also be guiding. Of course, here the junior school teachers, they are really good. And then afterwards in the colleges, they are in the university, the teachers have no time to talk to like this. But in our country, in the olden days, where the people were less, even those days the teachers used to go and see in the evening whether the students are studying or not, whether they are roaming here and there or not. And if nowadays, if they go immediately, it will be an issue for the politicians. Because the freedom of an individual is curbed by that professor. So remove him. So who will go? So obviously, viveka means discrimination. Because the children cannot discriminate, so the others, they help them to discriminate. No question of freedom or binding. It is only a question of understanding. So this is going to harm you, you should not do it. That's all. That's called viveka. And the spiritual life, the real and the unreal. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if you understand this, you understand everything. What is real and what is unreal. God is only real. What is the real means? Permanent. Never changes. That is God. And here, khyati means the knowledge. Viveka, khyati. Viveka means the capacity to discriminate. Khyati means the knowledge. Then abhiplava means unbroken practice. Now, abhiplava, mithya jnana sunya, and viplava means mithya jnana. According to the Yoga Shastra, viplava, the word viplava means false knowledge. The whole world, if you go to Eastern countries, they all viplav, viplav, viplav chahiye. That viplav means, according to yoga, mithya jnana, all false knowledge. Aviplava means real knowledge. So we have to understand this unbroken practice. Whether I realize God or not doesn't matter. I am going to practice it. And that temperament, that mentality, whether I am going to heaven or not, whether I am going to achieving or not, I am going to practice, that's all. Though again and again and again when one is practicing, because to control the mind is very difficult. Swami Vivekananda, in one of his poems, he is writing, again and again you will fail, but you should not give up. You should not lose your heart. You are going to be successful someday, sometime. You are surely. So you have to hana upaya. Hana means of breaking ignorance. This avidya is not so easy to break. Very difficult to break. Somehow from here and there, we do not know from where, the avidya it comes. And then we are entangled to that. Then it comes, tasya saptadha pranta bhumi prajna. This prajna means the real knowledge. This prajna means the real understanding, real knowledge, the knowledge of Atman. That is called prajna. Jnana, but prajna. Prakrishta jnana, prajna. What is that prakrishta jnana? Perfect knowledge is Atman, knowledge of Atman. Tasya means the yogi. Tasya means he is. Who is he? That yogi. Saptadha. There are 7 stages. Pranta bhumi, real realization, and that is called prajna. Now his knowledge is of the 7-fold. First is the mind will cease to be dissatisfied. How I will understand that I am progressing in my yoga practices? The first step, always satisfied and never dissatisfied. So this is a very special thing. I have seen our Swamis, one or two whom I could come and meet, they are not dissatisfied at all, always satisfied for everything. One person came and broke the glass on his table, so we are giving the services. No? So he was sitting in the office, and that was a hospital, and his father died, the young boy. He became so angry. You people could not take whether we take the action or not, the best doctors, even if the life is to go, and it will go. Doctors also cannot save that person. It happened. With all the special care and all that the doctors were trying, it failed and he died. And now this person was very angry. He came and broke the glass. But the Swami was not at all angry. And then he said, it's okay. Be careful, you should not cut your hands. We were so angry, we were thinking why we should call the police and he should be arrested, but he said it's okay because his father has died. We can purchase another piece of glass. What is there? So this is always satisfaction. The mind will cease to be dissatisfied. Second, absence of pain. It's not that when there is a prick you are not feeling the pain. Not like that. Then some of the people, they'll be walking in the nails and proving that there is not, this is only practice. The pain means if you are not attached, agony won't be there. That particular moment, oh God, you don't want me, okay. Then he forgets, he goes for something else. That is no pain. Third, attainment of full knowledge. You can understand the full knowledge means knowledge of discrimination. Yogi, so the knowledge of discrimination. Now if you go for the third and they say the yogi attained the full knowledge, can you please explain the physics? And there is no problem. It's not like that. It's attained of Atma Jnana, idea about that Atman, conception about the Atman, which is totally different from all that is going on. That full knowledge is there. So naturally, he is not attached, and when he is not attached, he is not suffering. attainment of the end of the duty, that's called fourth. There will be no urge to perform anything. All these Europeans and American disciples of Swami Vivekananda, they were asking Swamiji to prepare a plan to develop an organization and to spread Vedanta in the West. Swamiji said, I never do any planning. I only work for my mother. Whatever that mother, that means the goddess Kali, the divine, that inspired me, asked me to do, I perform that. So that duty sense is totally over. Attainment of the end of the duty, and then freedom of chitta. Chitta means the storehouse of all the impressions. So when the chitta, the freedom of chitta means there is no impression at all. The moment there is impressions, maybe that it is there in a very subtle way, and you cannot find it. For a long time it never came to your mind, but suddenly one day it may surface. If the impressions are there, someday it may come on the surface. So that's why the yogi, the advancement of the yogi, the fifth that step means freedom of chitta, no store or stock of the past impressions. Sixth is chitta melts away into is the cause. The chitta means the repository of what? Impressions. Where from the impression comes? From the karma phala. All from the result of my past karmas. That is the chitta. It is all holding. When it is not there, no karma phala. When there is no karma phala, the result of my past actions, then nothing is going to repeat in my life. And seventh is Swa Sarupa Avasthanam. He established in self. So anything that you will find the people very devoted, they will never do anything of their own. They will always ask for the permission of the God, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. One person came, Totapuri, he saw and he understood that the great potentiality of Advaita knowledge. So Totapuri asked that person, means Sri Ramakrishna, I like to initiate you in that Vedanta knowledge. He said, wait, let me go and ask my mother. Totapuri couldn't understand. He is a grown-up boy, and now he is going to mother. Anyway, the Bengalis are fond of mothers, let them go. So, and he went, and he came back and told, mother told, she has sent you for me. Now teach me. So this is the total devotion to God and established in the self. The yogi, he never goes to the God. His God is the self. So he is totally established in self. So he goes to the self and asks, what I am going to do? And then the answer comes. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, ultimately your mind is your guru. When all these things are achieved, practiced, and the ultimate, the Saptabhumi. Saptabhumi established in the self. Now here we find Ashuddhi Nashe Avidyadi Pancha Paramatma Vishaya Brahma Nasha. What is that Ashuddhi? We have to keep in mind all again and again. Ashuddhi begins with avidya, asmita, raga, desha, abhinivesha. All these five. That is called Ashuddhi, impure. Ashuddhi, impure, this thing. Then when the Ashuddhi, that means that impurity, that means that ajnana is over, then what happens? Samma jnana prakasha. The moment that ignorance is not there, knowledge is there. When the darkness goes away, what remains? Light. So similarly, the moment that darkness goes away, light. And how the darkness will go? Oh, darkness, you go away. And in the Bible, the Jesus is telling, let there be light, and there was light. Similarly, if I go and sit in that dark room and goes on repeating, let there be light, and there is no light. Because I am not Jesus. I cannot control the Prakriti. Sri Krishna could, Jesus could, because they were having the control of their own self. So that is the reason now the yoga anga, you have to anushthanat. Ashuddhi shaye, jnana dipti, simply by repeating, let the light come, won't do. You have to practice. You have to strive for that. You have to try. And when I am trying, what happens? Yoga, anga. Anga means the parts. Part of yoga. Now comes the real meditation. The most of the people, they will be talking about meditation, just close their eyes and sit. Nothing wrong in it, it's okay. But when we are serious students of the yoga, we have to study the Patanjali. And when we are studying the Patanjali, each and every word, sentence, we have to take it seriously, carefully. And it says that Tasya saptadha prantu bhumi pragya. Only these 7 steps if we go, we get the pragya, the knowledge. But how to reach over there? Now it says yoganga anushthanat avidya ashuddhi nashe avidya nasha, and then avidya nashe jnana prapti. So it is so easy. But to remove the ashuddhi, that is all pancha jnana, avidya, all these things. Now this, here it starts with yoganga anushthanat. By practicing this, the goal of yoga can be reached by practicing the different parts of yoga. Ashuddhi shaye. Ashuddhi means again that impurity. Shaye means by removing jnana dipti, then the knowledge automatically manifest. Aviveka khyate. Now that means the jnana dipti, that means tatta jnana prakasha. Different terminology they are using. Jnana dipti. All the Hindus anywhere, even in the America, they don't allow to light the lamp, and the electric lamp they will take. And then that also, in the Gita class in Naperville, so electric lamp was lighted. The lamp should be there, unless and until there is a lamp. Of course, I told him to do that. Unless and until there is a lamp, there is a fire, there is nothing. Why? It's not the lamp, it is not the fire, it is not the light. It is the symbol of jnana, the symbol of knowledge. The moment we see that light, it is that knowledge we remember. Jnana yoti, jnana dipti. That means that knowledge should give us the all light. Aviveka khyate. By destroying all that, then vision comes. Now, Atma Jnana. In the 29th, we just will read, and in the next class we will explain. The 29th, we come to that which almost all of us we know. In the modern society, Ashtanga Yoga, everybody knows. Ashtanga, all they know. What is this Ashtanga? Yoma, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. These are the 8. The moment these 8s are coming, all complete. But begins with Yama. Again and again we say and we understand, we know that there is a philosophy. And what is that philosophy? That we are all Atman. We are not the body. Mano, Buddha, Ahamkara, this mind, this I, is nothing. I am Atman, Shivoham, Shivoham. That is the philosophy. But do I really feel Shiva? No. Then why? To explain that you are Shiva, there will be some stories. And that's from the philosophy to all the stories that come, and then we can understand, oh, is it? That person attained that person attained that. All the stories will be there to encourage us. Then comes ritual, practice. And in the yoga, this is the ritual. In the yoga, we have to practice. This is the ritual. They are not asking you to sit over there and wave the light. They are asking you to practice yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, then pratyahara, then dharana, and then ultimately samadhi. The ultimate goal of yoga is samadhi. The ultimate goal of bhakta is God realization. The ultimate goal of jnani is jnana prapti, brahma jnana prapti, atma jnana prapti. So each and every one in different path they go, they have fixed one goal, they are reaching, they have given a name. But by that, then yesterday in that Hindu temple, one young man was asking me, why do we have to have the god and goddesses? Why should we have to worship? Because the neti, I find it very good. This is not me, I don't want this. The neti, that not this, not this. Then ultimately it will be the Atman. I told that is the path of the jnani. If you can practice, you can follow. But very difficult. Very, very difficult. That is the path. And then the bhaktas. If you go, they are all sitting over there, and they are having the havan, and then they are chanting the name, they are throwing all those things in that fire, and they are thinking that God is blessing. There is also the path. Where they will go? To God. Yogis in a secluded corner, they will be sitting, closing their eyes, meditating, where they are reaching to that total detachment from everything and samadhi, the real nature of the Atman within themselves. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, in whatever path you follow, after reaching over there to the ultimate, you will find everything is the same. That Atman, that Bhagavan, everything is the same. Only you are making a difference because of your conception. So friends,